Hi, good afternoon, and welcome to our webinar series where we're going to be talking about how to repurpose legal documents using DocStyle. I thank you very much for joining us today, and if you have any questions, we're going to go through a short PowerPoint presentation. We're going to continue on into a demonstration, a live demonstration, and we have a chance for questions at the end. So please save your questions, and at the end we'll mention when it's time, and you can write your questions in the chat, and we'll be happy to answer them at the end. But if you're ready, we'll get started and talk a little bit about who we are and what we do. So my name is Chris Cangero. I'm the Chief Executive Officer here at DocStyle. I have a background in legal technology, starting out as a consultant, working a lot with document and content management systems. I did all law firm work and corporate legal departments. And about 10 years ago, I had the bright idea to start developing software, and here we are. So that's been the course of my career, and I'm joined today by Adrian Bailey. Adrian?
Hi, I am Adrian Bailey. I am the Chief Architect of DocStyle, and I have over 20 years of experience, mostly in large and mid-sized law firms, ranging in positions everywhere from proofreader to word processor to trainer to desktop applications. And over those 20 years, the experiences that I've had, we've taken as a company-wide initiative to build those experiences into DocStyle to build products that are both useful and easy to use.
So that brings us to what is DocStyle. So our mission at DocStyle is to build consistency by improving productivity. So what does that mean? That means that we want to help you standardize your documents in a faster, more efficient process by helping you build styles, build numbering, and to clean up those documents so that you can get them ready for editing and the editing process in the drafting phase. So we also have, DocStyle is a part of a suite of products where we also offer document comparison and metadata removal. Today, we're going to be focusing on DocStyle and a portion of DocStyle that we felt was really the core of the product. And we're going to talk primarily about cleanup and about paragraph numbering and how to build styles automatically using DocStyle. So we'll focus on those areas today, and future webinars we'll do other aspects of the product, and we'll talk more about the other offerings that we have and show them to you. But this is what the agenda is for today, and this is where we're going to focus. So our philosophy is to, first, we want to make sure that you have a clean and good starting point. So what do we mean by that? We mean that we're offering you a way to get content out of PDF in as clean a fashion as possible. And we're also offering you a way to have tools to clean up content inside of the Word document. If you're starting from a Word document, maybe you're repurposing from an old document or what have you. We want to focus on numbering. We want to focus on styles. We want to focus on formatting. We want to make sure that when you begin your editing process, however that document begins, we want to give you the tools in which where you can do that efficiently, and you spend more time focusing on your clients and less time focusing on the time it takes you to perform repetitive tasks. So automation is key, and really streamlining that process is something that we focused a lot on, and we're going to show you and talk about today as we move through the product. So that brings us to one of the important questions that we have, which is, what is a dirty document? Now, the term dirty document in the past meant that, it was, primarily associated with corruption. It can mean more now, and we should really talk about that. So Adrian, please tell us a little bit about a dirty document.
Yeah, so, like you said, dirty document used to mean a document that was basically corrupt, and that was probably going to crash, at the worst possible moment that you needed this document to go out. So, well, that doesn't happen nearly as often when you take into account the DOCX format. So for our purposes, we're going to be using the term dirty document to describe a document that's poorly formatted, that has been passed around many times, you know, from lawyer to lawyer or back and forth through the client, that may have text from the internet, unused styles, along with way too much manual formatting and maybe some unseen metadata. Now, all of this can create instability in your document, which will eventually need to be addressed. You could go to the next slide.
So how do they negatively affect your practice? So this is a great question, and you touched on it a little bit, so please dive into this a little deeper.
So time, money, and consistency. So numbering and formatting issues can take an excessive amount of time to fix manually and usually require a document specialist, which may or may not have an additional cost, right? So the time spent fixing those documents means less time creating document content. And clients don't want to pay firms to fix documents. So it ends up costing you money. And of course, you have inconsistency. So poorly formatted documents are documents that are prone to errors. So the table of contents, numbered paragraphs, cross-references are all examples of features that benefit greatly from proper formatting. And also you have the firm branding, which is also more easily achieved when documents are formatted correctly.
That's great. So what can we do about these problems? How can we prevent them?
Okay, so first thing is to recognize that there is a problem. So you want to take that first step and make sure that you require a remedy to this problem. And then you want to take preventative measures. So establish a plan to prevent issues before it becomes a bigger problem, rather than trying to address it after the issue surfaces and you're in a time crunch. So you have to embrace technology. So understand that the process and accept how technology can play a crucial role in fixing your problems and in automation of the entire process or workflow so that you can avoid the problem altogether. And then integrate those tools. So you want to introduce tools that are efficient and solve complex problems without adding too much complexity to the user experience.
Okay. Oh, that's fantastic. So yeah, let's dive into one of those tools. So perfect segue. Wasn't planned. So here we go. We're going to go to the screen share. And so now we're going to move into an actual sample workstation where we've kind of prepared DocStyle and we're ready to share it with you. Before we get into the features and the feature sets and we start walking through it, I'll just very quickly introduce you to the product. So right here on the desktop, we have DocStyle Convert, which was formerly named the DocStyle Desktop, and we're changing that to be more appropriate with the actual function of this particular client interface. We're going to go into that first, so I'll save that for the next step. What I want to show you next is the toolbar inside of Microsoft Word. So inside of Microsoft Word, we call this the DocStyle ribbon. And the DocStyle ribbon has cleanup tools, has automatic styling tools, insert tools, numbering tools, proofreading tools, and advanced styles. For the purposes of this webinar, we're going to be talking about cleanup, automatic styles, and the insert group. Join us again, like I mentioned, for future webinars, and we'll talk more about some of the other tools. So here in the settings options, you can actually tailor the ribbon to suit your needs. And so since we're going to be talking about these features today, we can actually condense the ribbon. Now, what does this do for us? This allows us to push out customized interface to our teams and groups so that the people who are receiving the appropriate feature set can have that feature set available to them, and they don't get overwhelmed by too many tools that may or may not be part of their, or that aren't part of their workflow. So we can do this both on the front end as the individual user or on the back end as the enterprise. And without getting too much into this, I wanted to just share this with you so that you can understand that that's available in the product. So we'll come back to the Microsoft Word ribbon. And for now, we're going to grab a sample document. We'll start with converting a PDF file to Word. So with this particular PDF file, it's a sample PDF. If you've seen a demo before, you might have seen this document. It's a great example of a lot of the different things that you will find in a legal document. So we have a title page, we have centered paragraphs, we have cascading text, we have a red herring on the left, we have our numbered paragraphs with our levels, we have footnotes. Scrolling down, we can find, change of page orientation. We see change in header footer. We also see tables, so a bordered table, an unbordered table, footnotes within tables. This was originally embedded Excel, but that's also recognized as a table coming to Word, and a table of contents, index of terms, and I believe a table of authorities, but we do not do anything with the table of authorities. So just wanted to make sure that was clear. That is not part of our offering. So this document, what we're going to do is we're going to convert this from PDF to Word. And so we simply open up the DocStyle interface, or we can drag and drop the file, and DocStyle will launch automatically. And once it launches, it's going to have the path for the document itself, so we can browse out and find that file, or we've automatically populated that within this browse window. Where do you want this file to display? So we're going to put this file someplace. Where does the new Word document going to reside? So I'm going to put it on my desktop, so it shows up right here. And what am I going to call this document? So you can actually change the name of this document coming out to anything that you want to change it to. How many pages do you want to style? All pages, or is there a specific range of pages? So we'll leave that on all pages. And so now we get into the settings. What exactly do you want us to do when we're processing the conversion for the PDF into Word? So we can actually recognize paragraphs and build styles automatically. This is a specific style set that is predefined. You don't have a way to customize this coming from PDF, but you can either build styles for every paragraph and apply them, or you don't. So we recommend that you export in the cleanest way possible. That's the purpose of the PDF extraction. So we want to make sure that we get clean content into Word. So section breaks. Do you want us to insert section breaks as we deem they're necessary, or do you want them at the end of every page? Headers and footers. Do you want us to try to pick up the headers and footers and add the content that we believe belongs in a header or a footer into those respective areas, or not? Numbering. Do you want us to try to recognize the automatic numbering and add that to the style definition, or leave the numbering as text? So for styles, that's a prerequisite. So you would need automatic numbering for styles if you want paragraph numbering with levels. Table of contents. If we can pick up the automatic numbering and we can connect it to the heading styles, we will be able to regenerate a table of contents using TOC styles and a field code. So actually creating a real table of contents inside of Word through PDF conversion on the fly while we're populating that into Word. So that's a unique aspect of the conversion process, and can be helpful if we find that in the document and you want to save some time. Footnotes. One of the most popular aspects of our conversion process is that footnotes are detected within PDF files, and they're inserted and created as footnotes in Word. And it's the way that we're processing this conversion allows us to do this very quickly. This has been tested out to a large number of pages and a large number of footnotes, so it's fairly reliable, and I believe that you'll find this to be an incredible time saver. So opening the document, or do we leave it closed? And we will open the document once we're finished converting this. So now we have converted our Word document or a PDF file into Word. And now we're going to go through and we're going to take a look. And so I'll turn off the paragraph marks. So you can see we have content in the header and footer. We have our title page, which has been displayed properly without, hard returns and, space before, space after. We applied section break at the end of this page because we are changing header and footer, right? So we have our red herring on the left came out pretty well. Some minor adjustments needed. Our center text, our paragraphs are pretty consistent with what we saw in the PDF file. But you see here, we are not putting a section break here because there's no need for one. And we do that so that we don't overcomplicate the cleanup process on the other side once you get the information into Word. This is about getting the content out of PDF in as clean a way as possible. This is specifically designed for legal documents, and it is not a replacement for Acrobat or any other PDF converter. We want to complement that by giving you a better means of exporting content out, respecting the way that Word works. So moving on, we're scrolling down, and here we have footnotes that were picked up in the PDF file and automatically created. We have page numbering, which you'll see we recognized it was a page number, and we put it in the footer, and we also entered it as a real page number. We have a section break here for change of page orientation. We picked up the tables. So key things to pick out here, we're grabbing the tables and we're getting them out. We are processing the tables without the heading so that we're not embedding that information inside the table. We're building footnotes as we see them in the document, wherever they reside. And we are accommodating the changes that may happen. Like, for example, as we scroll down, we see that the page numbering here, the format changes, and we were able to pick that up and restart page numbering. So things like that are some of the things that we're doing. And Adrian, would you like to add anything? Did I miss anything in this explanation?
Well, can you hear me?
Yes, I can.
Oh, great. I was trying to jump in there, but I think my mic was kind of not cooperating. So
Sure.
A few things I wanted to point out. So the DocStyle converter is, its main purpose is not really to have the exact same look as you would get from Acrobat or Foxit or Nuance or anything like that. So it's more of trying to get that clean text out. And that's why we made those choices for your default from the converter. So you go in there, you run it, and you get this flowing document that's clean. And you get things that you're not going to get in other places. So you get those footnotes, you get those tables, you get those columns that you might not get when you run it through Acrobat. So it's another tool that you can use when you need to get content out of PDF and into Word. So don't think of it as a replacement to something that you already have. Think of it as, oh, this didn't come out quite right. I need to do this another way without trying to just copy all the text, paste it as unformatted, and then start working. So, once you have this, you have something else that you can turn to see what results you get so that you can get that work done faster.
Great. So, all right. So that is getting content out of PDF and into Word, and the philosophy and concept behind it. That is a bit of an explanation as to how we're addressing some of the problems that we talked about from one perspective, as it begins as the document originates in PDF, and you may not have that original Word document, you don't have access to it, they didn't share it with you, whatever the reason may be. So we wanted to really address the holistic nature of where do you get your documents from, how do they begin? And they don't always begin as Word documents. And that, I think, was the important realization that we came across as we were designing this and building it out, and really trying to put a complete offering together that would really appreciate where you are and how you work. So good. So we'll let's dive into the ribbon now and talk a little bit about insert PDF. So we're going to open up a blank document just very quickly. And one of the things that we'll do to kind of finish up our PDF tools is that, so we have the desktop client, which pulls the DocStyle Convert client, which pulls all of your, does a full conversion for the entire PDF file. Now, let's just say that you want to grab a specific page or some part of a PDF file. You don't necessarily want to convert the entire thing. You're inside of Word, you're working on your document, and you want to do it, you want to be able to do it from within Word. Well, what you need to do is you need to go to Insert, Object, and then, choose PDF file. And it's kind of like the Wild West where you get what you get. You get sometimes the file, sometimes first page, sometimes the entire PDF. It embeds without consideration or respect for the file size and words. So what we did is we focused on getting that content out of PDF and into Word. So we run a light version of the conversion inside of Word itself. So in this particular case, I'm not going to convert to text. What I want to show you is how we approach this in terms of two different ways you can take advantage of it. So let's say that you have a PDF file, you only really want the first page, and you now have a viewer inside of Word that you can open up and you can toggle through page by page and see the content on the page to determine whether or not this is something that you want to import. So how you can import it. So we can insert the text. Now we showed you that this is a form that really doesn't apply here. So what we want to be able to do is we want to bring this in as an image in this particular use case. So getting this in as an image allows us to bring this content in, preserve the original nature of the look of the PDF file and the image itself. And now we can respecting how we're bringing it in to respect the file size of the Word document so that we don't blow this document out of proportion. And we can collaborate now by sharing, whether it be collaboration tools like Teams or other platforms, or you can even just email this around without having a very large file with this embedded PDF file that's, taking this document from, 30 kilobytes to, 3 meg, whatever it may be. So 100, 200, or 300 DPI if you just want to get this page in so that you have it in for collaborative purposes. Use the smallest quality for the image. And if you want to have this print quality, use 300 DPI. And when you insert it in, we're going to add a section break, and we're going to now populate this content inside of the Word document. We're sizing the image to the margins, and we're bringing the visual representation of this page into the Word document. Very unique piece. I don't believe it exists outside of our offering, and we believe that it solves an impractical problem that you deal with where we've just taken something that Microsoft offers in an inconvenient manner, and we've made it very practical and useful. So here, like I mentioned, you can either run a light conversion where we'll pick out the clean text and we'll give you the footnotes, or we can bring this in as an image, and here it is displayed on the screen. So with that being said, before we move on to the cleanup tools, we'll talk a little bit about our web paste, which we can go out to any any website, and so ESPN, and we want to grab some content from the internet, and maybe I want to grab this paragraph here. And the idea is that we can copy paste content into Word without having the ability to bring all of that internet formatting, that HTML underlay with it. We give you an option for all of the fonts that are available in the document. We provide you with how the size you want this content to be inserted in, and the font size itself. Do you want to bring over the indents, the bold, the italic? This is like an advanced version of Paste Special. One of the nice things about this is if you have a styled document, we'll be able to evaluate whether or not the styles match. this paragraph matches a particular style that's already in the document, and we'll apply the style that we associate it with so that it's consistent with the rest of the document. So that is a brief overview of web paste. And again, we're taking paste unformatted and just giving you some selectability to how you bring that content in. So again, practical, useful, and we feel that it helps in terms of trying to get in content out of other sources and in clean. We're actually planning on expanding this beyond just internet content, so we believe that we can bring it from any source. So we're going to open this up, and I believe we're going to be calling it Smart Paste going forward, where it's a little bit more of an advanced copy and paste and addresses some of those problems that you run into. So now we're going to move into cleanup. So at this point in time, let's get back to the heart and the purpose of where we were, and let's open up a sample document that that we have downloaded and found that it is provided to us with other people's styles in it. So go ahead, Adrian. Yes.
Yeah. So I know when we went through this this webinar, we thought we might not have enough content to put in here to fill up an hour, with the kind of the outline that you put out. But you have about a half hour left, and there's a lot to show. So let's go through this a little bit quicker, because we want to get to some of those questions that I'm sure people are going to have. So we have about 20 more minutes, and we need to get through cleanup, automatic styles, and it's a lot. So let's
we always plan for we always plan for quick demonstrations and walkthroughs of the product, and there's a lot of depth to this. So getting into why and how it opens up some time concerns. So thank you very much for reminding me. We'll move the pace along a little bit. We'll finish up at 20 minutes from now, and we'll get into the Q&A so we have enough time to field your questions. So thank you very much, Adrian, for making sure that we stay on track. So create clean document. So the idea behind create clean document is that we're going to solve a lot of the problems that happen up front by taking all of the content from this document, moving it to a brand new container. And by doing that, we have some capability that we can add to this in terms of functionality. So we're going to remove all the styles from the existing document. We're going to bring the content in as direct formatted clean text, and we're going to preserve the look of every page. We're going to allow you to apply a template if you have one stored inside of DocStyle. Maybe you've uploaded a template. We're going to give you some additional cleanup options, and we're going to allow you to decide how you want to handle section breaks, how you want to handle column breaks, how you want to handle track changes. So the idea behind this is that if you start fresh, then you've addressed a good portion of the problems that you run into. And our approach is to start fresh rather than to try to fix everything as it is. So when we run this process, it's very quick. This is a 25-page document, and it happens in a handful of seconds. And what we end up getting on the other side is a brand new Word document with clean text. The paragraph numbering has been removed. All of the styles have been removed, and this document is now ready for me to style. So, Adrian, do you have anything you'd like to add here?
No, just that this particular feature is kind of your starting point when you're trying to recreate this document. And the other tools that you'll see in cleanup are more of triage. So, if you have given up on this document and you want to start over, you would use create clean document to kind of just strip it down to how it looks and go from there. And the other tools you'll see in the cleanup group are tools that you can use to
not do that full-fledged, just scrap the document, put it in a new shell kind of thing, and then it's just, okay, I need this thing done, I need this thing done. And so create clean document is kind of your sledgehammer. So if you want to just start from scratch, that's when you use create clean document.
Right. So now let's talk a little bit about some of those other tools inside the cleanup group. So we're going to go into quick cleanup, where we have global changes and analyze numbering, and then we'll just go over the toolbox very quickly to show you what can be done inside of DocStyle for cleaning up the Word document as it is. So I'm going to just close this, and so now I can open up this interface. So we have save points that are required at certain points. So when you clean the document, it's brand new, we require you to save it. So rather than save it, I'm just going to show you the interface and talk through this for time concerns. So here we have global changes. So global changes is a way to make changes throughout your document that you may or may not want to make universally. So I have a whole bunch of options here, and this is going to affect everything in the document as it relates to this topic. So when it comes to font, do I or do I not want to change the font? What font do I want to select for the entire document? Do I or do I not want to change the font size and standardize that throughout the entire document? Global changes is exactly what it sounds like. Complete global changes throughout the entire document. So just keep in mind that when you make these changes to font, justification, line spacing, space before and space after, margins, spaces in a sentence, how you're handling quotes, use all curly quotes, use all straight quotes. These are ways to conform your document universally, and just keep that in mind that when you use this, it's about all or nothing. So that is what we've offered here in Global Changes, and it's a nice cleanup tool to kind of get your document to look more like your firm document. So you can style it as is, or which we'll get into in a moment, where we can show you the different ways you can style the document. So that's one of the options. So here with the analyze numbering, we're going to analyze the numbering in this document, and we're going to show are there not issues, right? So are there issues in this document? I found none of them. So at this point in time, but if I want to take another look and see if there are issues, then I just change the numbering so it's a duplicate number in the paragraph in what would be it would detect would be the outline scheme. So here it's saying that I need to fix the numbering. I can have DocStyle do it, or I can do it myself inside the document. So we're going to try to recognize where there are inconsistencies in either numbering or formatting, and we're going to allow you to fix those using DocStyle. And now this document is been addressed, and the issue here has been corrected. So a very quick and easy way to analyze your document, to see how it was designed and how it was written. Maybe you didn't write it, maybe it's from another author, and you want to evaluate it for the first time. So analyze numbering is a great way to take a look and see what's inside. And let's talk a little bit about the features in the toolbox. So I'm going to show them here, and you can go down and we can take a look, and let's talk a little bit about them. Adrian, you want to kind of guide us through this a little bit?
Yeah, sure. So, the toolbox is, a bunch of basically macros that an advanced user would use to go through this document. And a lot of the things that we have in here are things that we've gotten requests for from our users. So, it's better to have a tool out there and a company out there that kind of puts this out so you have it available to all users, rather than having, little pockets of users that have these little macros stashed away in their, in their little toolboxes that they use all the time. So that's what the toolbox is. It's kind of a common, a bunch of common tools that people ask us for all the time, and we've added into the product. So it changes, it's going to grow. If there's something in particular that you would need for your firm, we can add it here so that you can make it available to all your users, and we maintain it. You don't have to maintain that code anymore. So some of the things in here that are, really popular, of course, you have your quotes. That's always a big one. Straight to curly, curly to straight. And you have your reflow of your paragraphs. And that's mainly when you're copying text from the internet or from the PDF and you paste it into your document. It has all the section break, all the paragraph marks at the end, and you don't want to go through and delete all of them. So you can actually just, well, Chris is going to show you this one. Yeah, just like that. So, you can reflow this and remove all of those paragraph marks and make it one paragraph in this case. Or you can have us search through the entire document and do this for all the paragraphs. And it's not going to jumble everything into one paragraph. It's intelligent enough to go through and say, okay, all of these lines here should be a paragraph, and puts them together. Then goes down to the next group and says, okay, all of these are paragraphs, or all of these lines should be one paragraph, and puts them together. And it takes the format in from the first paragraph and just adds the other lines to it. Another one that I really like is the adjust spaces. And that is, to conform the spaces in the document after the paragraph mark. So that's a big one that we see all the time, especially if you have an international firm. Here in America, a lot of people use two spaces after the paragraph mark or after the period. And over in Europe, they almost always use one space after a period. So you can go through and do it this way rather than a bunch of, find and replaces that you'd have to do to get the same effect. So, those are a lot of things in the document text. And then you have, of course, remove all the content from the header footer, turn off the same as previous, delete unused styles in the document is a popular one. Convert all your text to numbers, also pretty popular. Remove the type numbers. That's something that we use specifically when we style documents. We might leave those duplicate numbers in there for you to proofread, so you can remove them here. And then you have a bunch of things here inside of your tables. So like I said, this toolbox is going to grow. So, we have a lot of great ideas that we're going to add here for the next version, and we're always looking for people to suggest things here. So that's what the that's the DocStyle toolbox.
Great, thank you very much. So let's talk a little bit about styles. So we have a number of different ways to build styles, but today we're going to be focusing on automatic styles. So styles in DocStyle is about automation. And that begins with recognizing the paragraphs and grouping them together. So what we do is we provide for you an automated, in the background analysis of the paragraphs in the document. And we identify them, we classify them. We say, okay, are non-numbered style paragraphs, are they headings? Are they body text? Are they centered text? Are numbered paragraphs, are they part of an outline scheme? Are they level 1, level 2, all the way through to level 9? We also can determine whether or not an outline scheme is in a section like an appendix or a schedule or exhibit. List numbers get list number styles, list bullets get list bullet styles. And so the way that we saw to make automation work was to be able to say, okay, we want to style this document as is, or we want to be able to match your firm or house style, was to introduce another step, style sets. So style sets are the ability to either to pull styles from an existing template and apply them to the specific type of paragraphs that you have in, or that that we detect in the document. And this can be done for non-numbered paragraphs and numbered paragraphs. And you save this collection of settings and apply them so you can actually conform the look of your document to match what the template has in terms of the styles inside the document. So we create style sets in advance by uploading templates into DocStyle, and then from those templates, we build style sets for the different types of documents. Or maybe if you're a European firm, you have one house style, you would build your house style here, and that would become your style set. And now, as you use the automation, what you're going to do is you're going to apply the style set to either the first option or the second option. The first option will update the style names based on the style set, but it won't change the formatting in the document. So we're going to use the style names that you choose, and we're going to build custom styles conforming the look of the document from what we see in front of us. The other option would be to build this document, to change the look of this document based on the firm style in the style set that we've created for us. Some cleanup options here during the process, but we can go ahead and do that. So what I'd like to do is I'd like to just close this real quick. I prefer to use a clean document. So I've already cleaned this document. We can overwrite styles, but it's best practice to just do it with a clean document from the start. So I'll again show the style pane area. This is all in normal. There's no numbering involved. This is all direct text. We had previously used create clean document to set this up. And here now I'm just going to use my default. I'm going to change this document to look like a document that I have created. So I'm going to use legal style numbering for agreements. This is my firm style, and I'm going to now style this document by recognizing the paragraphs and now conforming this to look the way I want it to look. So this is how I want my centered paragraphs to look, the title styles. This is how I want my numbering to come across in legal style numbering with my levels, automatic numbering, and a continuation of numbering if I hit enter and move on. This now has been completely conformed throughout the entire document to now match the look of the way in which I want this document to go out the door, and it's styled appropriately so that you can now go on and build table of contents, cross-references, other advanced features inside of Word, or using the tools that we have to offer that we're not showing today, but the tools that we also have, like cross-referencing, and you can use those, continue to work on your document with a styled document that's consistent, that's clean, and that's been done very quickly. So that is one way to show style document. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to close this. And there are going to be times, so let's open up that original document that we had done the conversion for. So we have this document in Word. Again, remember, we're not changing the look now. I received this document, and I want this document now to be styled, but it's all in normal, and there's no numbering that's been introduced. And I want to now do this very quickly because I need to insert and generate a table of contents. So, but I don't want to change the look of the document. I like the way this looks. Maybe I want to preserve it because it's not my document. So using DocStyle, we can simply choose a style set for the style names that I want to use, or just whatever the typed in names that we have manually typed in here for the different types of paragraphs. So you can actually run this, and we're building custom styles into the paragraph, into the document for every paragraph. And again, the same analysis process of recognizing the type of paragraph, applying the style automatically, and running through the document and making sure that we build consistency throughout our document, and the automatic numbering, as you can see, linked to style. And you now actually have a style document that's available to use beyond. So that is a time saver, and that addresses one of the issues that is either plagues novice Word users or is just extremely time consuming. So if you have your styles already available to you in a style sheet, and you want to use them, or maybe you just want to use the style names, you want to preserve the look, there's a use case for either option, right? So, that's a good way to very quickly build styles into the document and apply them to the paragraphs. And now, again, like I mentioned, you can continue on and work with this document. So at this point in time, all I'll do is point out that the difference between style numbers and style document is that in style document, you're styling all of the paragraphs, regardless of if they're non-numbered or they're numbered paragraphs. And with style numbers, all we're focusing on are the numbered paragraphs. So our outline scheme, our paragraph numbering. So you don't have to style every paragraph. Sometimes body text may not be important or relevant, but you just need to do this quickly. Time is of the essence. You need to at least get the outline scheme in, and you have that option here to only style the numbered paragraphs or to style all paragraphs in the document. So at this point in time, Adrian, what do you think? We have a minute to show the table of contents interface?
Sure.
Yeah. So you have your styles, your document is styled, and we provide you with a table of contents interface to allow you to, build a TOC into this document. So we just find our numbered paragraphs. We get a preview of them here on the bottom right. And what we're doing here is we've listed out all the styles that are applied to paragraphs in the document and their respective paragraphs. And we're asking you to choose what level you want this TOC to place these paragraphs in the table of contents. And so you can choose paragraph 1, level 2, and because this is styled and the naming convention is something that you understand, you recognize, you have the ability to just very quickly decide how you want this TOC to be created. You have a preview for level 1, level 2, and as far as the TOC options are concerned, it's a pretty standard in terms of building and designing. So show the page numbers, show the dot leaders, first line only. I'll leave this open for a second. So period followed by a space, period, space, space, colon, semicolon. You have that option available to you. Table location, are we placing this in the current location? Are we going to place this at the beginning of the document, at the end of the document? Am I going to add the word table, page number, and the page, the word page itself in the column heading, and then we just generate the table of contents, and we wait a minute, and it's available for us. So one of the nice things about this, again, is if I show the field codes, we are now creating a table of contents that will as you're editing this document and as you add numbered paragraphs, as you're working with this document, you'll be able to update this table of contents and have that now consistent, no errors or mistakes. This is not hyperlinks. We're doing this in the right way. So with that being said, we'll end the screen share and we'll go over to the chat for Q&A. We'd love to hear from you to ask us any questions that you may have based on what you've seen here. Would you like to learn a little bit more? Please type those questions into the chat, and we'll be happy to address them right here and now.
And Chris.
Yes.
If you could go back to your screen and show all of the icons on the ribbon.
Yeah, absolutely.
We wait for a brave soul to ask any questions. I'll just go through some things that we kind of glossed over. So we have the numbering section here, which we didn't touch on, which is a way to create all of your numbered paragraphs from scratch or import that numbering from your active document. Right? Well, I think you got a question, but And the manage schemes section there is very important when you're dealing with numbering, because that's where you go and you say, okay, these are all of our numbered schemes, and I want to apply them to the document so that I have all those styles available in the document. Right, so this you can create by, again, creating it from scratch through the first dialog, or using a document that has type numbers in it and importing that and creating a scheme from that. Or if you have templates already set up and you want to bring them into DocStyle, you don't have to recreate them, just import the document. We'll pick up all the numbering and make it available to you here. Okay, and then cross-referencing is another big thing. We have other videos on the website that you can go to see more detailed, I guess, tutorials on each one of these features. But cross-referencing is something that the attorneys like about the product, because it's one of the things that is very error-prone. So you want to build those styles, and it's a driver for cleaning up these documents. So you want the automated cross-references. That means you have to have the automatic numbering. That means that you have to have your styles in your document. So cross-referencing is a big thing. And of course, the defined terms check, specifically for attorneys. So, you know, this group here that I look at is a lot of IT staff, but the defined terms, the attorneys really connect with that because it's a way for them to proofread that document before it goes out to make sure the definitions are correct. They don't have duplicates. The definitions are used somewhere in the document. So the defined terms is something that you might want to go on the website and find some more information about. And then just the advanced styles. So advanced styles is for your power users. We're not even going to get into that here because we could take a whole hour on that by itself. But, you know, I just wanted to go through the rest of the ribbon here. And, you know, because what Chris showed you is a condensed version. And the reason we do that is so that you can deploy specific functionality to specific user groups. And you can do that via group policy, SCCM, whatever, or just through, you know, registry. However, which way you want to do that, you can deploy things so that people don't go through and destroy their documents using tools that they might not understand. So,
right, absolutely.
That's point out in this. Thank you.
Sure. No problem, my pleasure. So yeah, we'll go back and we'll field some questions. So how do I do cross-referencing? Okay, so we'll give you a quick overview of cross-referencing while we're here, and we'll share that. So once again, let me go back and share my screen. So I'm going to open up so references. So we have an agreement. We want to find our cross-references, and so this document happens to be styled, so we can actually share with you the interface and how that works. So we're going to run a check to check for typed cross-references, and so on the left-hand side, we're going to offer you a list of all of the references that we found based on the prefixes that you've entered in. And on the right-hand side, we're going to list all of the styled paragraphs. So as you hover over them, you can see that the hierarchy for the paragraph is displayed right on the very top. So you see where it says section 3/3.1. So this is level 2 for 3.1 and so on and so forth. So we're giving you a preview of the entire paragraph, and we're showing you the hierarchy of the paragraph. And you know what you can do is you can sort your references alphabetically, which will basically put them in number order. And so now we're also going to try to predict which paragraph we think that you want to link this up with. So when you select on 13, we're going to show you that we believe that these paragraphs are the ones that you should be linking them to. So you can you can link both by just selecting the paragraph, selecting and just creating the link between them. When you apply this, it's going to create a reference link, and it'll make that available in the document. And you'll be able to validate those links through the interface as well, and basically be able to see them and get a picture of them. So if you want to take a look at the links, you can peek behind the window, or you can just simply move it out of the way. It's entirely up to you. The reason why we wanted to do it this way was because you have a lot more real estate with the dialog window, and it gives you a greater ability to see the paragraphs themselves, and to be able to, even though it's somewhat condensed, there's still a whole lot more room here than there is in the task pane. And it's we feel that it's a little bit more convenient. So we wanted to introduce it this way as a unique way to display cross-referencing to the user, and so far it's been well received. So Adrian, do you want to add anything to cross-references to finish that question?
No, I don't want to add anything more. We do have a follow-up question on that.
Sure.
If they wanted to reference it underlined, is there a way to do that? No, not through the DocStyle interface. You would have to do that after you actually mark the references. So that's just a follow-up. The cross-referencing as it's set up now is a tool to help you kind of just mark everything without having to go through it one by one, you know, and search for it. And so that's what it is. It doesn't give you the ability to kind of build those extra field codes in that you would need to do things like underline the cross-reference. And I think that's it.
Yeah, I think so. We're at the top of the hour, and so I'm going to get to the end of the webinar. So we've successfully completed the Q&A. We'll just share with you some of our upcoming events. So the next event, we're going to be walking through the DocStyle in its entirety for PLTG members on December 3rd, on Friday again. And we'll be putting out announcements on our social media page and our website about how you can register for that event if you're a PLTG member. We're going to be doing more of an overview, so we will be getting into it's more of a surface explanation of all of the features of the product and what's in it. So it'll be a little bit of a different approach to the presentation, and we hope if you're a PLTG member, you can join us. So how you can get in touch with us, you can reach us through our website, www.docstyle.net. You can contact us by sending an email, either myself or Adrian directly, or through info@docstyle.net. We will receive that email. You can also schedule a demo. We're going to make this presentation available after the webinar for anyone who would like to download it. So this is a link to my calendar, and you can schedule a personal walkthrough with me and Adrian as well, and we'll walk you through the product in whatever you want to focus on and whatever area is most important to you and most relevant. And last but not least, thank you so much for joining us. We are very happy to introduce and share this product with you today, and to try to talk about some of the problems that you face and how we can try to make that experience a little easier, and ultimately reduce the non-billable time and the repetitive mundane tasks that are advanced for most people, but just take a lot of time to get accomplished and are prone to error when you're sharing and you're working with these documents. And we want to give you those tools to kind of help you get through that, so that ultimately you can build efficiency, build effectiveness, and pass that time savings along to your client, and they can appreciate that. In that you're not spending all that time working on documents.
Okay, thanks a lot.
Thank you very much, and have a wonderful weekend.